The way we consume and share news today is largely rooted in social media. That's a reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online, from the hottest issues to trends, not limited to, but definitely including BTS and the so-called Army Day. For our daily social media minute, we're joined by Erica. Good morning.
Good morning.
Staying dry? It rained pretty hard yesterday.
Oh, yeah, it did. A little bit scary.
It's going to rain a little bit in the morning, but by the afternoon, it should subside in the
Yeah.
central
Mhm.
region. Let's jump into social media minute. Of course, the internet is subject to lots of mistakes. To correct it in a timely fashion is probably an important duty. It's great because we have a South Korean civic organization who takes it upon their own hands to kind of be sort of the cyber police, if you will, looking for misinformation and correcting them. This time, Apple Map has falsely listed Baekdusan Mountain's entire crater lake area as part of Chinese territory.
Yes, and that's why Apple is being criticized. So the key point here is that it's listed all of the entire area of Baekdusan Mountain's Cheonji Crater Lake in the northern part of North Korea as part of Chinese territory on its map application on its digital devices, including its phones, tablets, and laptops. So South Korean Civic Organization, a voluntary agency network of Korea, or PANK, said Tuesday that searching for Baekdusan Mountain Cheonji Crater Lake on Apple Map returns false information that the entire lake area is
Uh,
part of Chinese territory.
mm,
The map even introduces the crater lake as China,
uh.
Changbai Mountains, Cheonji.
If this story sounds vaguely familiar to our listeners, it's because we have talked about similar incidents on the segment before that's involved false claims over Korean territory by neighboring countries. It seemed that
Right.
most of the times it could be inadvertent, but there was always a group of people there to correct the mistakes.
That's right. Now, according to the group Hanku, other portal sites like Naver and Google properly delineate North Korea
Ah.
here. Yeah.
Okay, so then this time around, Apple made a pretty critical mistake, considering
Yes.
that they could have maybe cross-checked with other outlets too. I think Apple listing the entire Crater Lake as part of China is what is problematic here, the word being, as you said, entire area.
That's right. So to give you some information on this
Geography?
yeah, yes, a bit of geography lesson today. The Cheonji Crater Lake was divided into China's northwest region and North Korea's southeast region after the two countries signed a boundary treaty back in 1962.
Mm.
So the lake area is divided into China and North Korea. So that's why it is entirely false to say that the entire lake area belongs to China. Now, Beijing
Mm.
has long been claiming that its mountain range has both historically and culturally been a part of China since ancient times.
So it is a contentious issue after all. To get it right seems
Yeah.
critical. This is why Apple continues to face criticism on this regard. Leaving it there for now, but let's move on to our BTS coverage of the day. I didn't realize that there was a day in July dubbed Army Day. I believe that's a day where the official colossal fan base army was formed for BTS.
Uh-huh. I had no idea.
All
Yeah.
right.
But anyways, BTS is celebrating their ninth anniversary,
Okay.
and they've revealed some of their favorite artworks in collaboration with Google Street View.
Mm.
So, BTS Street Galleries has each member of the band select some of their favorite artworks.
Mm.
Most of them are public domain works sourced from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's collection.
Mm.
And these pieces are then displayed on Google Street View in a location of the member's choice.
That's kind of nice. It feels like an
Yeah,
interactive experience for the fans. Like you want to like what I suppose your idol star likes. And each of these members are inviting viewers on a virtual tour of their favorite art in his own virtual gallery. We're going to the metaverse.
that's right. In his own virtual gallery all around the world, basically. So the Street View collaboration features 14 iconic locations curated by BTS Many of the band members selected locations that to tie back to a moment in the band's history,
Hmm.
which is a fitting tribute because they're currently celebrating their ninth anniversary. To give you an example, J Hope's Choice is the UN headquarters in New York because
Okay.
that's where the group accompanied former South Korean President Moon Jae-in for a speech last year in September, and then they performed Permission to Dance, which of course that video went viral on social media.
In case you didn't get the memo,
Yep.
let's take a look at some of the other members of BTS. I'm curious now as to which locations they picked to virtually display their favorite art pieces, because it could have been literally everywhere. I thought it was limited to one region, but it's not. And they've been to so many cities, so many
That's
countries
right.
for different causes and different
Yeah.
celebrations.
That's right. So RM, his love for art is well known.
Yeah.
He's an art collector himself. He chose Namdaemun here in Seoul.
Mm.
He said that the city is special to him because, well, that's where he's from. And because the group kicked off a global concert here back in 2021, he's
Oh,
referring to the 2021 Global Citizen Live Festival.
okay.
Jungkook also chose Seoul. He specifically highlighted the Cheongu building, which is the former Hive headquarters Dong in Gangnam-gu district. And he said the building had been like a second home to the group for many years since their debut in 2013. Suga chose to display works near the site of the Dolby Theater in LA, which is the
Hmm.
first major American venue where BTS performed.
Mm.
V picked London. He says he loves the moody and picturesque of the city.
Uh-huh.
Jin's pick was actually in Brazil, Sao Paulo, which he described as one of BTS's favorite cities due to its vibrant energy.
All right.
And yeah, last but not least, Jimin chose Singapore. And he reminisced about, performing in the country's national stadium for the group's Love Yourself World Tour back in
Mm.
2019. So lots of memories there.
I was gonna say, I do want to say that one of the members kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Everyone seemed to find meaning in where BTS performed together as a group. And then there was V that said, I'm gonna choose London for my love of my moody picturesque.
Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, to each their own.
To each their own. And I think we've come to an age where we can respect that. All right, on to our third buzzword this morning. Now, this is most unfortunate, but I mean, the times are changing and how schools are reacting to an overwhelming amount of shootings happening in the United States is, I've got to say, really disheartening. Texas schools consider clear backpack mandates for, well, school safety.
Yeah. Dallas students will only be allowed to use clear backpacks next school year if officials sign off on a policy which is aimed at improving campus safety.
Okay, so as you can imagine, the shift would come just months after the deadly Uvalde massacre. I can't believe this is a response that schools have to take, but this is a measure that they're looking at quite seriously to
That's
increase and
right.
to ensure school safety for children.
Yes. So Texas educators and politicians are really grasping for ways to make schools more safe after a shooter killed 19 children and two adults in Uvalde back in May. And in the wake of previous attacks, officials have sometimes turned to these clear backpacks as a potential solution. Now, Dallas recently updated its dress code online with an entry outlining a new clear backpack policy for all students. Officially quickly deleted that post later in the
Mm.
day, although the information has continued to spread on social media. It was noted in the now deleted post that the district had purchased backpacks for all students and would distribute them before the start of the new school year. And if implemented, the district will join a growing list of schools, including several in North Texas, requiring these see-through bags.
It puts, I think, authorities in really tricky situations. When there's a public outcry to do something rather immediately, school officials are put in a tough place where they do have to show that they are reacting. They're
Yeah.
making changes. And this is a relatively easy measure to show the parents, to show the teachers, to show the students that they are, in fact, doing something. A clear backpack is something that can be easily implemented.
That's right. But the question is it an effective measure to actually stop similar incidents from happening in
Mm.
schools across America? And the answer to that question is probably no. After the massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, students at the school were required to use see-through bags, and that policy was quickly derided by students who questioned why leaders were violating their privacy rather than push meaningful legislation to stop gun violence.
Because gun legislations are increasingly difficult to, well, turn around. I think there were noted moments in American modern history where school shootings were rampant, and we had, as the public from the country and then other parts of the world, believe that quick changes would be made to gun regulations in the U.S. It didn't happen for decades, honestly. And I think authorities maybe in Texas are put in difficult situations where they want to react without infringing on the students' privacy, but is there such common ground? Now, having every student wear a clear backpack in the school district, kind of implying that every student might be a threat. And I don't know what kind of message that sends to the students. So I've got to ask you, Erica, do other Texas districts have a clear backpack policy as well? And is it working?
Yes. For example, the Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District in Houston has required clear backpacks for older students since 2018. So it's been a while.
Okay.
Now, Kennedale, which is around 10 miles outside of Fort Worth, is mandating all students in 6th through 12th grades
Mm.
use clear backpacks beginning this fall.
A lot of our listeners are not very happy with this decision. Rising Radiance chimes in. Kids can't hide what they have in their backpacks from other kids. It could also result in bullying. It could make them a target for entirely different reasons. So it seems like there could be undesirable side effects. I mean, just reading the headline doesn't sit right in my stomach. It feels like you're preemptively punishing the students for something that a gunman can potentially do if they could bring in the gun a different way to the school, right? But small steps are being made. Whether this is the best direction remains to be seen, honestly speaking.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Erica, for thorough coverage. Stay dry. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.